everybody, we are live. This is the Beacon of Light podcast, our favorite things. And I thought you bet I was going to miss it tonight. Oh, no. We are here ready to go. And I have Miss Cathy Studer. And so before we get started, let's jump in to this, maybe. I'm April Tribe Juke. Welcome to the Beacon of Light podcast. I believe we are all made with light, and light is hope. This podcast brings authors who write stories of hope to all of you. Your journey to be inspired and amplified by these stories starts now. And we're back. See? Look at that. No harm done. All is well. So my amazing friend, Miss Cathy Studer, we met a few years ago at an authors conference, and it's been just a great connection. And her story is, it's just filled with power and redemption and improvement. And can I go on? Yeah, I think I can go on and on and on.
You're too sweet.
So before I blather on, why did I bring Miss Cathy on? For all y'all. So I'm going to throw this up here for her. If you, oh, look at that. I have two U's in there. I'll throw that off for a second. So Cathy, you get started and share with us what's up. Tell us what's going on.
Well, first of all, April, thank you so much. It's an honor to be back with you as always. I always love chatting with you, and it has been great. You know, I say this and I repeat this, but I never thought 5 years ago I would write my book. And it was that conversation that propelled me. And I was petrified. I was scared, but I was so grateful I did. And probably one of the biggest things that I want to share is, you know, when you look back at the last 2 years and everything we've gone through, it has been hard on all of us with the pandemic, racial tensions, just political issues. And it's hard and it sets us back. And a lot of people propel deeper into depression or anxiety. And what I learned and I share through my book, Broken to Beautifully Whole, after I shared my healing pilgrimage of where I walked through after long-term child sexual abuse. It wasn't fast, it wasn't easy, and the healing was definitely not linear. It was ups, it was downs, and setbacks. But I got back up and I kept going. And it started with the conversation. My book started with the conversation where I was talking with a client about each of our own stories. And we both walked away asking the question, why do some people suffer trauma and go on to live a fairly successful life? And why do others suffer more? One person absolutely no better than another. And what I can say is I walked away that day, never dreaming I would write a book, but reflecting, prayer, and lots of deep introspection. And I slowly wrote down, oh, Pam, you are so sweet. Love you too. I slowly wrote down what I applied into my life. And then the research came and I dug in and I did massive research. And here's the biggest takeaway. When, again, I talk about the depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and one does not have to suffer sexual abuse or even physical abuse to suffer this. But here's the most important takeaway tonight. If everybody just takes one thing, we can rework our brain for our betterment. So when trauma and stress happens to us, or around us, it affects our brain. It leaves an imprint in the neural pathways in our brain. And I won't get too sciencey or geeky, but it puts the body in what they call fight, flight, or freeze mode. And when that happens, we propel our cortisol, we reduce the feel good hormones. And what I want to share is we can alter that part of our brain. We can unlock those traumas. We can unlock that imprint, and we can absolutely 100% reduce depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Now, I can't make a promise to totally eliminate, but I can 100% promise that we can reduce, we can strengthen our brain. And with the tough times that are going to come at us, that are all inevitable, why not do whatever we can to strengthen it? And the attributes that I share in Broken to Beautifully Whole do exactly that.
That's right. And just listening, reviewing, and knowing people that have suffered through this trauma, I have a question for you. It might pop up. I don't know. So I'm just going to ask it. Do you feel that your story could help youth who've gone through this?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And if you didn't hear it, yes. Yes, because again, even youth have the same imprint on their brain. And the sooner we get to youth, the more critical it is, because I'm going to throw my own self out there. I mean, my healing pilgrimage took me, I'm being totally honest here, it took truly a good 35 to 40 years. Let me repeat that, 35 to 40 years to add all the components that I talk about into my life. The reason I wrote my book is because I want other people to get there sooner than what I did, and know that that hope and healing absolutely is possible. And children's brains are more malleable than what adult brains are, which means we can help them faster. Which I'm so excited. In 2022, I am going to be launching children's books. I'm doing a set of children's books that deals with all 6 attributes that I share in my book, because why not start teaching and equipping our children at an incredibly young age how to strengthen their brain, or at least just planting the seed that this is possible. They can be stronger and have a much healthier mindset. And when you look at our youth today, think of all the children that are struggling from anxiety, depression, what happened in COVID, just the pure stress. Again, these are children that don't have to suffer physical or sexual abuse. Maybe they're suffering verbal abuse. Maybe they're suffering emotional abuse. And maybe it is the other, because unfortunately, as we all know, in the pandemic, sexual and physical abuse did go up, especially due to the stress, lack of income, and fear. So if we can start teaching our children at a young age, when that brain is malleable, we are going to better equip our children to have that stronger, healthier mindset going into adulthood, and then just keep reinforcing it as they get older. So yes, 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 we can teach children these attributes, and it's so helpful.
Okay. Well, I guess you answered that. I really do have that question where, maybe sometimes as we maybe it's just our generation, right? The 20, 30, 40 years to finally face it, work through it, whatever. Wouldn't we, like you said, be so much better to give it to them earlier? And if they have suffered through it, it's not to dismiss it, but to say, look, you are so young, you have your whole life ahead of you, and now you have real real skills and abilities to change and flexibly maneuver this trauma into something that you can actually, make it a healthy opportunity for you for your future. This is not
Absolutely.
defining you. And that's part that I have to really give out to some of the youth who I know. This did not define you. It's an event, possibly over a length of time, but that is not you. That part needs to be worked through. And as we go through the change, it's hard, it's tough. You have so many people who surround you, support you, and who love you. And that's the part that I think can help stop some of the fear or the concern or the worry, right? So
Exactly.
so
It,
with your life, oh, sorry to interrupt. With your life, who were your supporters when, you were going through all of the things you went through? Or have you seen youth who've been through this, who've taken on your 7 attributes, and who were their supporters?
Well, great question. So, through my life, first and foremost, and you know this, April, my mom was my hero and will forever be because the night my mom found out, she immediately kicked my stepfather out of the house. And because we were talking about how we can shape the brain and children's brains being malleable, here's what I also want people to hear. So, when trauma happens, as I said earlier, or just pure stress, it puts that imprint into the brain. So, it's something into the brain, and that imprint leads to the depression, the anxiety, the PTSD from the traumatic event because it's stuck in there in that fear, flight, or freeze mode. When a parent believes and responds immediately, that can start to loosen the imprint of the traumatic event. When parents don't believe, it's a second traumatic event to the brain. They've now suffered a re-victimization and another trauma. So, yes, they can heal from this, but it takes that much longer. It's that much harder. So, when kids are believed, when they're told it's not your fault, I repeat, it's not your fault. Even if they haven't suffered a physical or sexual abuse and they're just suffering from depression, and you're trying to guide them, you're trying to equip them, let them know the mental health situation they are in is not their fault. That helps all the way around, that support system. So, yes, I would absolutely say equipping kids. I do have a client of mine. So you said give an example. I have a client of mine whose granddaughter is only 5 years old. And she's starting to suffer anxiety. Now, she has not gone through a traumatic event, but she thinks about a situation, it becomes negative, and she starts to ruminate. And this is how anxiety propels. So, whenever we start to think about something that's bad, when we keep thinking about it, it ramps up the cortisol and then it ramps up our anxiety. So, what they've started to do with her that is awesome is when she comes home from school, hey, what's one good thing that happened today? Just tell me one good thing that happened. Or when they sit down with her, when they read a book, before they go to bed, they ask, well, share one good thing that you think happened today. Was there something good at recess? Was there something good with one of your friends? Was there something good at dinner? Was there something good for breakfast? Get them thinking about the good. And when they take that and you can start putting that into habit, then we can start taking that cortisol, that anxiety, and bringing it down. So it works. But the most important takeaway too is we have to make the choice and we have to create the habit by adapting the attributes and the components, because it takes the habit and putting it into practice to reshift the brain.
That's right. Reshifting there is an incredible thing. I love what Pam says here. Mom, the hero. Way to go. Yep. And it's so true. That positivity really makes a huge difference. And it's so simple.
Yes.
Right? Really, when you think about it, the simplicity of that sometimes might defer us to say, well, that's too easy. Really? No, really. Think about what is good, what is positive, what brings that idea of peace and love. What's the excitement that fills your heart? You
Yes.
can't always just dwell here. It'll
Yes.
destroy you. You
Exactly.
need to find those positive things and silence, turn down, eliminate as much as possible the negativity. Here's
Yeah.
what, ladies and gentlemen, kids and folks, the negativity is always going to be there. Ha! And so is the good. So, which do you want to look at?
Right.
I know that's simple, and I'm not making light of it. I am trying to make an awareness of it for sure.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
it doesn't mean that we become Pollyannish. And it doesn't mean everything is life is rainbows and unicorns because it is absolutely not. It's not. But if we can look at the negative and we can look at the positive and digest the negative, it doesn't mean we ignore it because it's real life. We see it, we identify it. Now I'm going to put my focus on the good. So here's the negative, here's the good. I see that, I identify it. If I can control it, let me choose an action to change it. If I can't control it, okay, let's shift it out. Let me find the good. And that's where I'm going to choose to put my focus.
Right. So, so simple, but it takes the habit, it takes the practice of doing this. So, Kathy, we have a few things that were up on the blog today. And if you guys need to find Miss Kathy, go here to her website. So today on the blog, we talked about the Broken to Beautifully Whole, your book. And in January, you're going to be offering something here. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited about this. And the good news, I've already had one of these, but it is the Broken to Beautifully Whole workshop. So, what we do in the workshop, it's an hour and a half. We're going to do another one in January that is going to be virtual. So, anyone can join. And in the workshop, we actually dive into the 6 attributes that I'm talking about. And I go a little bit deeper than my book because I've done more research since I wrote my book. So I offer more information. And here's the cool part: everybody gets to create their own piece of kintsugi art, their own unique piece. So as we go through the workshop, people get to pick out what color paper they're going to do. We break it to let go of any hurt that you're holding on to let that go. And then we lacquer it back together as we walk through the attributes. And the cost for the workshop is $60. That includes all the supplies and a signed copy of my book. And for anybody listening today, so you have until Sunday. If you want to sign up for the January workshop, you get the workshop, all the supplies, your unique piece, a signed copy of my book for $50. So just
Wow.
go to my website, sign up, and we'd love to have you there. So you get to create your own piece of kintsugi art and learn how you can create that stronger, healthier mindset.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Would this be something that maybe moms and daughters could attend, or is it more adult focused? Okay. Hey.
Absolutely. I would say, honestly, I would say probably 12 and up. I
Okay.
12
That's
and up
good.
would be awesome. So yes, sons, daughters, anybody who wants to create a piece of art and learn how to strengthen themselves because life is tough at times. The inevitable hardships are going to come at us. That is reality. Why not equip ourselves with that healthier mindset? Because that then brings us a whole lot more joy.
That's right. Absolutely. You guys heard it here. Go right there to Miss Cathy Studer. Sign up, and you have till Sunday. You're going to get so it's $50, so $10 off. After Sunday, it goes back to $60. But the point of it is, wow, look at that. You probably spend that on an outfit that is probably not going to change your mindset. You might send that on a haircut. Might make you look good, but it's probably not going to change your mindset.
Yeah.
So, very affordable. And look at all the things you get. A signed copy of the book, a creative piece of art that becomes your visual to focus in on and remember those positive things. And, possibly future work with Miss Cathy. So she knows her stuff. She's long gone from that victim. She has been through surviving. She has thrived, and now she is a champion victor and now a warrior over anything that she possibly can to help our kids stay safe, help you to heal, and bring more light to everything that is possible. Awesome. So, Miss Cathy, if there's anything more you would like to share with us tonight, we have about 2 minutes left. Share away.
Well, what I would want everyone to know that no matter what has happened to us, some of us have small hurts, some of us have really big hurts. We can pull our pieces back together. We can become that kintsugi art. We can allow ourselves to shine like the silver or gold. So we have a choice to shine like silver or gold, just like kintsugi. And we all have a choice to shine our pinpoints of light.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cathy. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you, everyone who has been here tonight. Ellie, thank you. Share this. Let them know that change is possible, and 100% you can reduce, reduce, reduce. Who wouldn't want that in their lives, to reduce the anxiety, to reduce the stress, to reduce that PTSD? Let's do this and heal so that you can have the new you for the new year. We'll see y'all. Bye, everybody.